Hello everybody and welcome back. In previous lesson we talked about the comparison between electric vehicle and hybrid vehicle. With that we also compare electric vehicle with petrol vehicle. In this lecture we are going to discuss about the components of hybrid electric vehicles, which also include your electric vehicles. So as you can see here in this figure, so we can start from here, which have we have thermal cooling, or we can say thermal system. This helps in cooling of our IC engine, which you can see is here. So it helps to in air intake and to pass the air here into your IC engine. This is the part of your IC engine. Next we have DC-DC converter. So it is here. So we will discuss about these in this lecture. Next we have power electronic controller. As you can see, this is the power electronic converter. Then we have our IC engine, which is internal combustion engine. Here you can see. Then we have exhaust system. Then we have fuel filler, fuel tank, traction battery pack or battery assembly. Then we have traction motor, generator, transmission or gears, and a auxiliary battery which used to transfer power to your equipments like headlights, wipers, or your display or audio systems. So let's discuss each of them. So these are the components of hybrid and electric vehicles. The first one is HV battery assembly, second one is power cables, third power management control ECU or HV CPU. Next we have hybrid transaxle, which have generator which is known as MG1 and motor which is known as MG2. Next we have inverter with converter assembly, and it has three components which are boost converter, inverter and DC-DC converter. Next we have compressor with motor assembly with inverter. Next is engine, your IC engine, and then auxiliary battery. So now let's discuss about HV battery assembly. So this is the component which helps to store electricity generated by MG1 and MG2. So as MG1 is your generator and MG2 is your motor. So we will discuss these. To drive MG1 and MG2, the battery supplies power to the inverter and further to the electric motor to drive the wheels. So as the name suggests, HV battery assembly means it's a assembly of various cells, and then those cells combined are known as modules, and various modules are combined to form a pack. So this is a battery pack, a whole battery pack. Next we have power cables. So as the name suggests, these are the high voltage, high amperage cable that connect the high voltage system parts. Next we have your power control, power management control, ECU or HVCPU. So it is used to control the hybrid system. It is mainly integrated with the power management control ECU, and this combined control unit is known as VCU, which is your vehicle control unit. It receives information about driver inputs and vehicle driving conditions from each sensors as well as from various ECUs. So it receives the power inputs from vehicles and sensors and various centers, and as well as from the individual ECUs. It helps to calculate the required MG2 torque and engine power output. Next we have your engine, that is your IC engine. So this produces power to drive the vehicle and generate electricity. So your engine is basically the IC engine, which has your pistons and crankshaft and your flywheel. So the piston is used to convert linear motion into a rotary motion, which is connected to transmission, and then it is used to power the wheels. Next we have auxiliary battery. So this is a small battery pack which is available in every car. So this battery is used to power as a power source for each ECU and electric components such as your audio systems, wipers, headlights, and other instruments. Next is your inverter with converter assembly. So it has three parts, as you can see here: boost converter, inverter, and DC-DC converter. So these are the three parts, and these three parts combined are known as inverter. So an inverter always has these three parts. So these three are combined to form an inverter. So whenever I will be talking about inverter, please assume that I will be talking about these three parts. So the first one is boost converter. As the name suggests, it boosts the voltage that is applied by the HV battery and output it to the inverter. It reduces the voltage generated by MG1 to charge the HV battery. So the battery has low voltage. So in order to power the wheels, we need high voltage. So the boost converter helps in increasing that voltage. And while uh, doing regenerative braking, we need low voltage so that we can store it in our battery. So this also helps to reduce the voltage and to store it to the battery. So simple function is that it helps to boost or reduce the voltage to make it suitable for your HEV battery and to make it suitable to drive the wheels. Next, we have inverter. So as the name suggests, inverter is used to convert DC to AC or AC to DC. So inverter converts DC to AC for MG1 and MG2. So means the battery has capacity to only store DC current. So it only stores DC current, and our wheels or our electric motor is driven by AC. So we need a converter to convert DC to AC. So we need inverter. So inverter helps in the conversion of DC to AC, means DC power from battery to AC to provide to motor 1 and motor 2, which is your generator and motor. Next, converts the AC generated by MG1 and MG2 to DC to charge the HV battery. So as you know, during regenerative braking, the AC current is generated by the generator, and as you know, battery only stores DC current. So in order to store that current, we need to convert AC to DC. So that's why inverter is used to convert AC to DC to charge the battery. Next we have DC-DC converter. It helps to reduce the HV battery voltage to supply electricity to electrical components as well as recharge the auxiliary battery. So this has only one function. As you know, our electric components work on DC current and our battery also have DC current. So it provides the current or electricity to various audio systems, your instruments which works on your power supply, like wipers, headlights, your instrument cluster, your dashboard, everything that required and power. So it helps to supply electricity to electrical components as well as charge the auxiliary battery. Next is our generator and motor. So these two are the parts of our hybrid transaxle. So I want you guys to remember these two terms, which is MG1 and MG2, because in this course we will be using them very often. So MG1 is generator and MG2 is motor. Just remember that. So MG1, which is your generator. So as the name suggests, it helps in generating the electricity using the engine power. So our engine produces power by the conversion of linear into rotatory motion with the help of pistons. And then the generator takes that mechanical power and generates AC electricity, which is passed to inverter and further to the HV battery. So it has only one function, main function, that is to provide electricity and to charge the battery. It also functions as a starter to start the engine. Next, we have MG2, which is your motor. So it supplements the power of engine to enhance driving performance. When driving the vehicle using the motor, the system uses MG2 by itself to drive the vehicle. It also generates electricity using degenerative braking when deaccelerating the vehicle. So MG2 has one very important main function, that is to drive the wheels. It helps in the conversion of conversion of electrical to mechanical power. So that mechanical power is used to drive the wheels. So the generator helps in generating the electricity from the engine power, and motor helps in driving the wheels using mechanical power. So this is the main difference, and this is the main functions of these two parts. Next, we have compressor with motor assembly. So it is basically an electrical compressor for AC. It is operated by power from the HV battery. So this has very minimum function in HV, but the generator and motor are very important. Next, let's take a look how the electric vehicles or hybrid vehicle look like. So as you can see here, we have our engine here. So this is a front wheel drive. So here is our engine. This is the IC engine, which uses piston or your petrol engine or diesel engine. Then we have transaxle. In transaxle, we have MG1, which is your generator, which is attached to this engine. Then we have MG2, which is your electric motor, which helps to drive the wheels with the engine. So these two are connected. So next we have inverter, then boost converter, and then DC-DC converter, and these all are known as PCU. So PCU means power control unit. Then these are connected mainly to the battery. So let's understand everything here. So we have engine, which produces your mechanical energy. That mechanical energy is used by the wheels, and some energy is also used by MG1, that is your generator. This generator takes that energy or power from engine and convert that into electrical energy and generates AC electricity. Then this AC electricity is passed to inverter, this PCU, and this inverter will convert that AC into DC so that it is easy to store in the batteries. Then after conversion from AC to DC, it will pass the current to the battery and it will recharge the battery. Then we have our MG2. So now the battery will supply the power to the inverter or this PCU. Now the battery store DC current, and for the functioning of motor we need AC current. So it will take DC and it will convert to AC and give it to motor. Now motor will run on electricity and will produce mechanical power. So this mechanical power will help to rotate the wheels, to drive the wheels. So mainly MG2 functions with the help of engine. So engine and MG2 will together will work to compensate their shortcomings and to drive the wheels. And MG1 will also work with engine to generate electricity. So this is an overview of how hybrid electric vehicles look like. So here you can see. So this is all about in this lecture. In this lecture, we talked about the components of hybrid electric vehicles. Thank you and